Well, Frank Tai, thank you so much for coming on. Like I told you, I have been looking forward to this interview since before I started the podcast, actually. I lied to you before. It's not since I started the podcast. Before we started this podcast, I absolutely knew that I wanted to have you on. You were first on my list. We have like a huge list of people that we wanted to get to and have on. And I wanted to show you something really quick. So we're video chatting here. Do you remember this card? I'm holding up a postcard, a holiday card that Frank sent me from 2009. And it's Pixar themed. It says Toy to the World. So this is 2009. So I imagine you guys were working on a Toy Story film at that time.
I think so. Yeah. I think we are just about to wrap up 2009. Yeah. Is that my first film?
Oh my gosh. What a film to start with. You said, "Hi Josh, I wish you have a wonderful new year and wish you luck to Japan. SIGGRAPH, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Frank Tai, December 13th, 2009. I wanted to start this because I've held on to this. This has been inspiration for me through many years, and getting this from you was unbelievably special. I know maybe it wasn't a huge deal writing it, and you have no idea how meaningful getting this card was, and that I still cherish this. And so I just wanted to start and let you know that, and thank you again for this continual inspiration.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So, Frank, you work at Pixar. You've worked there for 15 years now. Is that correct?
2008. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 15 years. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's unbelievable. And I know, from our school, because we went to the same school, you were the model, the example for students of here's what you can achieve. And I don't know how many people you've inspired to go after their dreams and achieve their dreams, but I'm not sure of the caliber at which you know that, but you're a big inspiration around that town.
Wow, Josh, you're really kind. Yeah, I didn't want to say, but yeah, it's very nice to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm sure all those people would thank you for doing what you do and doing what you did. I know that it wasn't an easy journey to land the job at Pixar, so I kind of wanted to start there. First off, why Pixar? What drew you to Pixar, and how did you start to figure out how you were going to make that happen?
Well, that's a good question. I think I like any of you, right? I think Pixar definitely it was our goal. We kind of just like, if we can work at Pixar, it'd be great. If not, we can find other job. And then, so many interesting animation studio around the world. And I think I tried to apply Pixar twice. And once after undergraduate, I thought I have enough portfolio. I don't have the list, but I remember at the time, I think back in 2006, we still need to make the hard copy of a DVD disc. Then you put all your portfolio on that DVD disc. Then I remember I probably set it out like 20 or 25, maybe even 30. I remember I just put my resume, DVD, I sent it out 30 different studio right after I think maybe before undergraduate. Then I didn't hear anything. I think I only hear from Reason and Hugh. And they thought about contacting me, but nothing really happened. Then that's okay. I think, at least I tried it. Then at the time I had my little project going on in my undergraduate. Then I decided to, apply for grad school, spend another year and a half, just like really focus on finishing my little project, which is like a little 3D animation short. I took the time to really learn the pipeline and then figure out, what is really behind the scene, watch a lot of, at the time, 2006 is like, there's a really limit of information. And then like really like find, like I watch any DVD has that behind the scene disc. I watch as many as I can and then talk to different friends at IUPUI. And I found that the lab we had was great. We stayed, there's so many nights we stay there, went out to get in the Kudo bar, right? Kudo bar and then a lot of Coke and I was just stay in the lab, kind of inspired from each other. Just stay in the lab, we're just looking at what people's working on. And anyway, I spent another year and a half just staying in IUPUI, just concentrating, making my short, and then continue to learning from other students. And also I did a lot of research on my own and a lot of tutorial. I think at the time, a lot of I think IUPUI has some digital tutor at the time. You can follow the DVD and watch tutorial. And then there's a website called CGTalk at the time. Ask a lot. It's funny, I went to the CGTalk ask question, and then one person, I think he's from Germany, and then he responded my question, and then he was so friendly and responded my question. Then 2006 or so, and then we went to SIGGRAPH 2006. I think that one in San Diego. I was staying in the youth hotel, and he's in the same dorm room. He's we kind of share the same youth hotel, and then we was just and then when we were talking about CGTalk, and we talked about the question. I was like, hey, wait, are you Frank? Are you Hangso? Yeah. And he's like, what the hell? So it was
small world.
Yeah. So he from Germany, and then the year later, we both actually got hired in Pixar. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's crazy, very crazy. And then when we on the first day at Pixar, wait, Hangso, that you? Yeah. Then we met again a year and a half later. Yeah. And then that was very interesting. Yeah. And then after grad school, when I finished my little short, I applied again. And at the time, I think I'm also very lucky. I think a lot of time, definitely you need to be good, in your portfolio, but at the same time, I feel like you also need tremendous amount of luck. I think at the time, 2008, even though the economy at that year is not very good, right? I don't remember this kind of stock crash at the time, 2008, everything kind of going downward. But it's interestingly, 2008, Pixar actually hiring a lot of newer people because Pixar at the time had a plan to expand company. So I think before 2008, I think Pixar only had maybe less than 1,000 people. And then they had a plan to expand to 1,300 people. So I was really lucky. I was kind of in that kind of transition phase. And then they hired a lot of an intern, resident, new hire during 2008, 2009, and 2010. So yeah, I'm really extremely lucky during the time. Yeah, so I was one of the lucky ones. Yeah, and then I hired as a resident. I stayed there for a year and then practiced my skill. Then after 1 year, I had another interview, and then they hired me full time. Then I stayed Pixar.
Unbelievable. I can't imagine the feeling of, after that interview and then being accepted, but I want to make 2 points. Number one, you kept referring to your short animation that you were working on in school that essentially landed you the job because it was such a good portfolio piece. You're referring to it as your little short animation. That was an absolute undertaking. I remember that was used as an example of here's the level at which you need to work. You work as hard as Frank, and this is the model, because you had done so much to making this unbelievable animation. In fact, I can see it now. I can see the feather. Remember, you had the feather falling. It was a funny and well done animation, and you did everything for it. I mean, the thing is, you had mentioned you immersed yourself in tutorials, getting on forums, which is CGTalk, and using resources that were at your disposal. That's enormous. You immersed yourself in the world and you didn't stop. And there's something to that. And number two, I wanted to say that I also believe in that timing is very important.
Yeah.
And luck comes in plays. But your preparation, luck is essentially when preparation meets opportunity. And you were 100% prepared, and you were going after those opportunities, and the timing was right. And so certainly was luck, I guess, and timing, but your hard work paid off in the end. They saw that. I mean, you have one of the bigger companies in the world who, I can't imagine how many people apply there. They saw the potential in you because they saw through how hard you worked and what level of work you did. And so there's something absolutely to that. I wanted to know, what was it like, just really quick, what did you do after you got offered the full-time job when you first got hired on at Pixar? What did you do? Did you go out and celebrate?
Oh, you mean like after my residency or when I get my residency?
Both. So when you got your residency, how did that feel? And then how did it feel getting hired on full time after that?
It's funny, like, just to be honest, at the time I always keep a pack of cigarettes in my car. I quit smoking when I was 19 or 20, but after I quit smoking, I still keep a pack of cigarettes just in case for special occasion. So yeah, when I got a phone call, I remember, I got a pack of cigarettes. I just like went across street from the IT building. At the time, there's no parking. I don't know if you remember. At the time, there's just a parking lot with like a few bushes and tree. And the IUP is like smoking free campus. Yeah, I just like took like 2 cigarettes in the pub, and and yeah, that's my reaction when I went back to the lab. I continued to finish my short. Yeah, the time that my short is not finished, I think I kind of in the lighting and rendering phase. I was like, all right, but I mean, it's a good feeling, right? It's like, all right, I know after I graduate, at least I got a place to go. So now I feel like, there was so many nights before I know I land this residency. There's so many nights I worked till like 1 a.m. in the morning. I drove home, took a shower, and just lay down until 2 or 3 in the morning, like watching TV. It's like, what am I doing? I didn't know what I'm gonna do. Like I kept doing my short. I don't know where I'm going. Just like, but at least I have fun doing my short. Every night is kind of like repeat, like they like routine, right? You woke up, you brush your teeth, you get ready for school, then you went to lab, they stay till like 12 o'clock a.m. and they come back and they take a shower, and every day kind of routine.
You just do it all.
Yeah. And then I remember there's like so many nights, when you after the shower, just sit there and watch TV. It's like, I don't know where I'm going. And then until you get a phone call from Pixar, it's like, oh, when we like you to come to do residency. I said, oh yeah, actually now I know where I'm going. It feels pretty good. Then just went back to the lab, finished my little short. Eventually I finished, but it's not like the way I wanted, but still I finished the job. And then when I got my full-time gig, and I didn't do anything special, I went to Costco to get like two hot dogs and Coke. Yeah, that was it. And at the time, my girlfriend at the time, like she was still in Taiwan. So I was here by myself. I told her, I got a full-time job and I gotta go Costco to eat my hot dog.
What a good plug for Costco. If that's how people celebrate getting into Pixar, I don't know what better plug for Costco that is.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, you celebrate the way you are. So cigarettes and hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, so exactly. Yeah.
So during this time, your wife or your girlfriend at the time was in Taiwan, and that's where you're from.
Yeah.
What brought you to Indiana at the time?
Oh yeah. I live with my uncle, my aunts, and they both are the IU medical school faculty. My uncle, he's a professor in the med school, and then I stay with them. So I'm lucky I had a place to stay. And I think that's like I feel like there's so many luck kind of build up. It's like I didn't need to worry about where I live. I didn't worry about food. I didn't need to worry about finding a job. A lot of my friends at the time, the IPI, they had to work part-time or full-time, and doing these projects crazy for them. I didn't need to worry about that at all. I just stayed with my uncle. Everything besides school, everything else is kind of took care of. So yeah, that's really, I feel like I'm really fortunate.
Absolutely. Yeah, clearly. But it also is clear that you didn't waste that opportunity. You worked extremely hard day in and day out, waking up, going to the lab, going to school, working till late in the night and doing it all over again. So you took advantage of the opportunity that was in front of you. I was wondering, did you come to IUPY, the college, on a student visa, and then when you got hired at Pixar, did you get it? Where did your citizenship come into play?
Oh, you knew that. You know that, huh? That's very complicated. Yes.
I've been through it with my wife.
Yeah, it's very complicated. Yeah, I start student visa, and then when you get after school, you can apply for this thing called OPT. Like OPT is like after you graduate from school, you have 1 year of OPT. If you find a job, then you can apply for working visa. But if you don't find a job, the OPT will expire 1 year. Then you have to leave US. So then I found a job, and Pixar applied working visa for me. And then a few years later, they do the green card. And then now I have my US citizenship. Yeah. It took there's so many different steps. Yeah.
Yeah. What year did you get your citizenship then?
About maybe 5 years ago. Yeah. 5 years ago. Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm one of you now.
Yeah, absolutely. You were one of us before, but now it's just official. But I know how treacherous that process is, because we went through it with my wife. And
where's your wife from?
Turkey.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even, after marriage and it's just an unbelievable amount of paperwork and time and money, and it's a lot of work. You also have that dynamic at play. You're not even in your home country accomplishing all this stuff. So it's extra inspirational in that way. And so, just kudos to you for trucking along and maintaining this vision. I mean, it's clear that you're kind of an embodiment of the American dream. Has anybody ever told you that?
To be honest, no. I kept saying this to Zach, and then no, I really appreciate. I had a friend like you, Zach, and at the time, Jared, Jim Wall, and then the professor there. No, everyone very supportive, especially the friend I had at IUPI. Leon, Leon was funny one, and then all those people kind of they don't see me as a foreigner. You guys just treat me like a normal friends, students. It's just it felt very comfortable at the time. So it just really appreciate it. Yeah,
that's enormous, having that support system and feeling like you belong.
Yeah, I think we all have this common goal at the time. SIGGRAPH was one. I feel like that's something really get us together. I just always I always recommend people in school, students in school, especially when you in this tough industry like animation or film, you gotta hear so many noise when you in school. People tell you, oh, it's gonna be tough to find a job. It's gonna be tricky. It's not easy to find a job. You will hear so many noise. So the way to keep you going is to hang out with friends, has a common goal. The people, friends are talking about the same interests, sharing, just sharing informations. And then I found very important element kept me going at the time. Yeah. I didn't really, spend much time outside, hang out with other people that doesn't have the same interest at the time, because I was very focused.
Yeah, clearly. And that's enormous. You're around people who lift you up, and you lift each other up, because, you were doing the same thing to everybody that you mentioned, Zeb, Leon, myself. And somehow we were able to lift you up and motivate each other. That's enormous. It's the beauty of the college setting, and university. Sometimes education gets a bad rap these days. Oh gosh, you go and you use so much money, and and you got to take classes that might not relate to what you want to do, but it's kind of what you put into it, like what you did. It's the people that you surround yourself with that you might not otherwise have been surrounded with had you not gone, and taking advantage of the resources like the lab and the, all of these different things that add up to that full experience and getting you where you needed to go. And so it's really, really cool hearing that. And I'm sure Zeb will be very happy to listen back on this. That he was our 4th guest on this show.
I listened to that episode. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Look at that. Frank Tai listened to my show. How cool.
You've done a great job. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
This is a labor of love. It's a passion of mine. And so it's just, it's really such a pleasure talking to people in this way and kind of peeling back the curtain on who they are, how they got there, the struggles. And this is something that I kind of want to talk to you about because, and I'll just get into it. Because obviously, so this is like kind of a two-part question. And I think a lot of people will be interested to hear this, and then we can kind of get into like some of the films and what it's like. I'm kind of curious, before we talk about all of the great things that is probably entails working at Pixar, I'm sure it's absolutely fascinating. I'm sure it's inspiring and motivating being around some of the most talented people in the world in that industry. But I'm curious because there's probably the other side of the coin where I bet it's a lot of hard work to make the films that you guys are making at that caliber. Toy Story doesn't just happen like that. There's an unbelievable amount of work. So I'm kind of curious, what are some of the most difficult parts of working at Pixar? And then I want to, after talking about that, I want to get a peek at what is awesome. What is it like to work at Pixar?
Yeah, well, I feel like there's two parts. What's difficult, what's awesome about it. Yeah, I know that that's your question, right? Well, I think difficult parts, yeah, definitely depends on what's your job and what's your role. I think each different role has different difficulty. My job right now is supervising a such department, and my job, the most difficult part is this is my new gig. I just got this gig like starting of this year. It's very new to me. I'm still learning how to be a supervisor. It's not being an easy journey for me. It is very different job from IC. IC is you got a deadline, you got project, you can, you got a goal, you can just finish. And then supervising is very much like people manage is you have to kind of manage people and kind of like you talk to people a lot, and then really kind of you have to listen to people's feeling and then kind of really gauge the room temperature and a lot of negotiation. Yeah, it has been a very challenging journey for me. But I went through the internal interview. Maybe they saw some potential in me, and then they picked me as their soup for this new film we are working on.
Are you able to say what it is?
No, I can't. But it's like in 2000. It's still a while. It's 2026. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you're already starting.
Yeah, we have been almost a year. We have another almost 2 years to go. Yeah. So yeah. Wow. So I hope I survive. It is. I think my department head told me, she doesn't expect me to do a great job. She only hope I survive for my first time being a supervisor. So in Pixar, it's very interesting, right? Every show, all the leadership will being like you select your own like supervisor leads, technical supervisor. All the position will shuffle again. When you start a new show, you will hire. You got a new producer, new director, and the producer director, they will choose their super tech, and then you'll go interview the supervisor, they interview technical leads. So I think it's good. Maybe when I'm done with this supervising job, I'm so exhausted. I want to take a break. Then I will go back to my IC individual contributor role. Just focus on doing my project. Don't worry about people.
I mean,
now I'm in this role. I found like being individual contributor is very easy. But when I was individual contributor, there were days that there's so many technical things that I didn't know how to tackle then. But luckily we have so many talented people. People are willing to share information.
Right.
And to be honest, like a lot of time, technical problem may not be the most challenging one. I think a lot of time the most challenging one is really to know people's vision, like something visual, something kind of imprint in your production designer's mind. Sometimes just really hard to understand, and it takes time to navigate. that part sometimes can be very challenging. You have
Absolutely.
to really get to know what's their taste and do a lot of trial and error, and then eventually kind of like shaping the way he or she is looking at it, looking for, and then sometimes can be very frustrating, but at the same time interesting and also rewarding if we found something looks great, and then
right.
yeah. But every day feel a little different. And then my job right now, every day is kind of like, this meeting can go great, the next meeting you can drop a bomb at you. And then so it's like, a lot of times being a manager or supervisor, you kind of have to accepting this is kind of normal. And then you kind of feel like you're failing every day. You feel like you fail every day, but as long as you every day, you feel like you're moving forward a little bit. And I think I'm start like writing at the end of the day, I'm writing down notes like, what did I do today help my team to move forward? Just something, even like something so simple, you kind of just write it down. Help me to, okay, even though maybe something didn't go as I expected, but at least I moved something forward.
Yeah. Well, it's, I mean, I can't imagine how much failure is involved, but it's like you're failing up because, Pixar, everybody's familiar with so many of the films. They're very particular on like the style, what that looks like. And so getting it, actually birthing that style, there's so many opportunities to miss what's in the mind of the director and the people really who have the vision of it. And then all of you who are individual contributors kind of trying to hit that target. Yeah. And you get a lot of misses, and then one day it goes, that's the style. I can't even imagine. But then when you hit it, it's like, oh my gosh, look at what we've created. And then I'm sure the director and, the supervisors and such are like, there it is. And you feel pretty good about it afterwards.
Yeah. That's not every day. Not every day. No. It's like, you try like 10 times, maybe you're lucky, got like 3 times right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, they take their time. Like you're saying, you're working on a film right now. We're still in 2023, and you're working on a film that comes out in 2026.
We finish in 25. Yeah. So 2 years. But they release in 26. Yeah.
Right. I'm just curious, do you love it? Is it going to be, do you like it more than some of the other films? Is it going to be good?
I think, there's 2 parts, right? I think that the first part is like, yes, I think it's going to be a good film. It's going to be a very funny and great film. Has a lot of heart to it. The second part is like, it's like making my short, in school. Even though, I'm not a storyteller. I'm, making film. There's so many different disciplines. I'm more like a CG background environment creator. I'm not good at character. I'm not good at storytelling. I'm not good at lighting. But anyway, I think the only way kept me going at the time to create my show is like have to love it. Well, I think the one thing doing this, making CG movies is a marathon. It's definitely a marathon. It's not like one film take about 3 years, at least 3 or 4 years to make. Wow. It's not like making a commercial. You make in a few months. It's making film a marathon. So I learned that when I do my show, it took me 2 years. I kind of went through the whole process, and then I slowly learned. I don't enjoy the outcome, even though I had a presentation, a capstone presentation. You presented for like a half hour. People clap at you. Yeah, but it's just like end result is only like 30 minutes, 1 hour. For me, it means really nothing. Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. So it means a lot. It is like in that kind of end result. But what I'm saying is like, I enjoy the most is the process, right? The process to me is the most important. I think like what we are doing here now in Pixar, I have to enjoy the process. I don't really care about what the final product looks like. I do enjoy every day, the process of we making it. I think I enjoy more of making it. That's why I mentioned to you, in school, I do watch a lot of DVD. Any way I can find, watch a lot of making of DVD. I think I really enjoy watch those kind of DVD, how people make stuff. That to me, that's very interesting, how you make it. and how pretty it is, how gorgeous in the end. To me, kind of, yeah, that's great. But I'm more curious about how you make it than the end result. Yeah, I think part of it is kind of keep me going. Just like every day, it's like, oh, what can we do it better? It's always a different way to do it. And then, how did you do it? How they do it? It's like you just keep thinking about all this kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. Also, that's where all of the time is spent, is the process. Also, you're building stuff with the team and all of those experiences, failing and then succeeding and then failing again and succeeding. So that's like that journey is enormously powerful. Obviously, you're working towards that end goal, which is the film, but there's so much on the way, especially when you're talking about 3-year timelines.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I mean, that's a lot of days in 3 years.
Yeah.
But what about the what's a normal day? So you wake up and you go to Pixar. What's it like? Are you now I imagine being in your position now, because you were a technical director before. Is that correct?
Yeah. I see individual contributor. Yes.
So maybe it's different then, but what's your day to day now? What does it look like throughout the day?
My job now is very different from IC. You don't have as many meetings. You have checking with your leads.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to go to director review. You go to meet with the production designer 1 or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think we try as a lead and as a supervisor, we try to keep IC last meeting as possible, so they have enough less time.
Right, focused on their work.
Yeah. I think, and you being creative, you are a creative person. I think getting to the zone sometimes takes time.
100%.
And then we don't want to make people scatter into meetings. That's very destructive in this creative process.
Mm-hmm.
That usually taking 1 hour, they will be in the zone for 2 or 3 hours. You rather them stay in the zone instead of putting a meeting oh shit, they have to break it out. And then, it's just for ICs, this is more like that. And then for now, my roles, this is a lot of meeting. Before I meet you, before I came in home, I had a producer meeting with my producer, talk about progress. And this morning we have director review. Then have the meeting with different department, lighting, with layout, and I had to plan for next week, and then plan with next year. And then we have technical meeting, talk about technical things, and we have art meeting, talk about arts, and then we have production meeting, talk about schedule, and meeting talk about in a meeting with human resource, talk about who we want to cast, and and looking at the schedule, if we have enough project for how many people we need. And sometimes people and then we try to check in. My teammates try to check in with them once a month. We have 30 people on our team. I try to check in with them, make sure, because my job now is really make sure they feel, also sometimes you have to care about their personal life. Now you kind of expand your perspective, looking at, people have different lifestyle, different, family issues, and making sure they can produce great work at the same time, understand why they are slow, something's bother them. My role now is doing a lot of that.
Yeah, it's a different realm.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. Do you like what you're hearing? Have you been thinking about starting your own podcast for your business? Well, we here at Naaman Creative can help. With our audio services ranging from custom music scores, sound branding, to podcast production, and so much more, we can elevate your business needs with our audio services. So feel free to reach out to us today, and we'll be happy to help you get something started right away.
That plan has to be everything too, because how many different people are involved in all of these different moving parts.
Yeah.
Making sure that you guys don't fall behind, managing that team and managing the work on it. That's an incredible undertaking.
I try to work out though. But still not very consistent. Yeah. I try to find time to exercise.
That's good.
You
guys have a gym?
Right? Do you have a big Pixar?
I haven't been to Pixar. I toured DreamWorks and I went to EA Sports. But next time I'm out, I'm definitely going to.
let me know. Yeah, we do have a gym, and then we have like walking path around the campus. And I try to walk and try to go to gym. Yeah,
That's cool.
Keep myself like I don't exercise to make my jack like puff, but more or I don't even like care about sweating. I just like mostly like for my mental health.
Absolutely.
It's just like, walking on treadmill for 20 minutes or run for 20 minutes, walking along, just like it's help your mental. I think everything I care the most is my mental health. Because with everything going on in the world, everything going on outside Pixar, so many things going on. It's not easy for a lot of people. I think the mental health these days is very important.
Yeah, 100%. It's great to hear that, Pixar values that and, allows you a space like physically to have a walking path, a gym. Do you guys have like a cafeteria? What are some other cool aspects of the, you get food all day?
No. Yeah, I think Steve Jobs was our CEO before he went back to Apple. I think Apple and Pixar have the same culture. Steve Jobs never believed free food. Yeah. So we still purchase our lunch, but we got like cereal bar and free coffee, free drinks, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Your main meals.
Main meal you still pay for it because I think he believes there's a consequences. Like Google wastes a lot of food. He's like,
I see
so much food you wasted, and also like we do have chef. We call the kitchen staff chef. Like they have the real chef.
Oh sure.
They produce nice meal like every day and high quality meal. But it's not like I mean still cheaper than what you can buy outside. Yeah.
Sure. Oh, that's cool. Well, hey, before I ask too many questions, I told you I have a little surprise.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a quick call here. I got you here on the line, Zeb. I just wanted to give you the opportunity, Zeb, because we're all close here, and now we can all share in the experience of being on the Naaman Creative Show. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to ask Frank a question here, and so I'll let you let you say what you want to Frank. We've had a great conversation so far.
Mr. Frank, my question for you is, at this stage of your career and your experience, what inspires you from other craftsmen or craftswomen or just creative trades? How do you find parallels in their process that coaches yours?
That's a great question. So Zeb, I'm gonna hang up and you're gonna have to listen to the episode to hear his answer.
Yeah. Well, I think my job right now is a lot of time feel so complicated. I told you, I got this new role. I'm still navigating, and then every day can be a lot of up and down. What keep me motivated, inspired? I just want to keep it really super, super simple. What I'm doing, it is a job, and then I have a family, I have a wife, I have a daughter, and then I feel like they are pretty much my inspiration at the time, at this moment. When I have a hard day, when I have difficult time, even when I have a really difficult meeting ahead of me, I would like looking at picture of them, just like remind myself. End of the day, I'm doing just a job. It's just a job. Like I'm lucky doing a job I have interest in. Not many people doing the job they have interest in, but I do. So I'm super lucky.
That's beautiful. Zeb would resonate very highly with that. I think that's probably similar to actually what Zeb's inspiration is as well. And mine as well. I have a daughter now. I have a wife. My daughter's sleeping in the other room, and so we all share in that. And so that's absolutely beautiful. I feel that every day. That's my motivation as well. So that's really cool. Because you watch films, and I'm sure working at Pixar, you're 100% inspired by the people who you sit next to and that you're around. Just all that talent under the roof. I mean,
every day what people create. Like in this morning review, it's like, oh wow, they are making great stuff. This is so inspiring.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, man, it's a job.
Yeah.
It's really, I really enjoy my job, and I like I say, it's like I'm really lucky. I don't know how many times I will say that. I'm lucky at doing a job I have tremendous amount of interest in, and then but end of the day, I just want to go home and then look at my kids and then play with her and then hang out with my wife. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, that's what a lot of people want, and but it is beautiful that you're able to do what you want to do during the day. I feel very grateful that I've been able to carve out a path. And I mean, technically I'm at work right now and this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I designed it that way. So before that, I wanted to kind of dive in quickly to technology side. You guys are developing your own technology. I'm wondering, it's a hot topic right now. Are you guys utilizing AI in any way? And if you are, how are you integrating AI into the pipeline?
Well, I think I'm not super technical, so I can't really explain what's behind the scene about AI because that's very, very technical computer algorithm. And the two is you as a 3D artist and me, AI has been out there for many, many years. Just like we use it already. It's not something new to us. A lot of stuff we use in computer graphics already AI. And then but I do know now this whole new chat GPT manipulation of the human face and the voice that sounds really scary. Yeah. However, this is something, when the newspaper show up many years ago, it was scary to people. And when the internet started, it was very scary to people. I think that the AI, just something happened in our generation. And then, I think we have to be really smart about it. It's just like, I do worry about a lot of fake news, a lot of news, people, especially either younger or older generation, they accepting like news or information without any second thoughts. I think, I think for younger generation, especially like now you have daughter, I think, AI is coming, all this new technology coming, and then we really need to like educate them, how we use them correctly. But sorry, back to your question about how we use AI for Pixar. There's a lot of talk about it, and then but at the same time, we all know we already using it. So I heard a lot of people talking about how to use AI to generate like story and script, and that part. I think there's a pro and con. Most of people, they don't like it, but the con side is they can generate idea or outline very quickly, but you still need a human to refine it, But but at the same time, I just feel like I don't feel like I am technical or the right person to talk about it, because it is a hot topic, I know, and a lot of people interest about it. And then I just don't have a really good answer. And then only thing I can tell you is there's a lot of rendering, a lot of computer, CG creation tool has already used this algorithm and then AI in it. Just we don't know. Yeah, just we don't.
Right.
Know. Yeah.
No, that's a great answer, because it's been a lot of people think like AI just hit us, and it's been around for a long time. Actually, it's just hasn't hit us in this way to be so available to people. But like content aware fills and predictive, rendering or whatever it may be. But now I think it's probably being taken to the next level, and I would imagine that Pixar is trying to explore those opportunities. But like you said, at the end of the day, the people who are approving the stories and have the vision for the story, because at Pixar, story is king. That's everything. That determines everything. I read the Pixar Touch a long time ago, and I did deep dives on Pixar because I at one point thought I was going to work there as well.
Yeah,
it's not as talented as you, Frank.
You just didn't have enough luck like me. I did.
That's nice of you to say, but I'm glad, I'm making my own little Pixar over here. So, and I can still have friends like you.
Oh yeah. Totally. Yeah. Maybe you got more luck than I did. I kind of,
well, you've been there 15 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, this, now you talk about it, I do feel like, a lot of time now I thinking back, it might not be a good thing you get into Pixar as a first job, to be honest.
Yeah.
Pixar is a big company. You kind of like, once you get into Pixar, I only in the such like environment department for 15 years. I know in and out its environment, but I don't know anything else. But for people in a smaller studio, I found them luckier. They learn a lot more things than I do. They learn different discipline. They have to maybe talk to client, talk about how to negotiate a lot earlier than I do. So I may be unlucky on that in that part, because Pixar being really taking care of me as an IC, making sure I know the Pixar pipeline and workflow. If you ask me, can I find a different job now in a different studio? I'm not sure. Could be a challenge task. So yeah, but now you mentioned it. Yeah. I think you are right. I think you are lucky, Josh. Now you got your own little like studio at home. You got your freedom to do things you love. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always two sides of the coin to it, because, some days I'm like, man, it would be really neat to work at a Pixar or a DreamWorks, whatever it is. And at the same time, then, it's back and forth, but you just can't have everything. And that's okay. But it's really interesting you say that. It's an enlightening point. But, at the end of the day, how many people can say, I mean, actually, I was wondering if you could walk us through what films have you worked on at Pixar?
Oh, Toy Story 3, After Break, Monster University, and Inside Out, and then Good Dinosaur. What's after Good Dinosaur? Cars 3, and then Soul.
Oh, such a good movie.
Soul, yeah. And
oh my gosh.
Turning Red. Yeah. I feel like missing one or two. Yeah.
Up. Yeah. Didn't you work on Up?
Oh, Up is before Toy Story 3. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah.
You didn't work on Up?
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's before Toy Story 3. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So started with Toy Story 3. That's pretty cool that you touched Toy Story. I mean, everybody.
We got Toy Story 4. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you've worked on half of the Toy Story. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Like Toy Story 4, I was the first time I was lead on that film. Then I forget about it. I think that maybe something I tried to forget.
It's all a blur. It happens so fast. I can't imagine. I mean, it's probably hard to keep track of just all that you've done. But Soul, my goodness, what a film that is. That is not a children's movie. I mean, in my opinion, that is an adult film.
Yeah. I think Disney I heard they tried to release Soul in big screen in theater next year, so people can watch on big screen. I think that movie is made for big screen, because there's a lot of sound, a lot of nice music, a lot of visual detail in that film.
Yeah.
And when you watch that film in your monitor, you just don't catch that. You don't catch those details. Yeah, I think Disney tried to release Soul and then Turning Red. I forgot which one. Oh, Luca. Luca's another one. They tried to release on big screen, because those films we didn't release in theater. They went straight to Disney Plus. Yeah. So they never had a chance to put it in theater. Yeah.
If Soul goes to the big screen, I hope that is, because I would go and watch it in heartbeat. Yeah. It's incredible.
You should do it. Yeah,
definitely. Well, it's amazing the amount of stuff that you've worked on. I mean, it's just people everywhere listening to this know those films, and it's just incredible that your name's at the end of those, and so many names at the end of those. But I want to respect your time. I know you've got dinner with the family coming up. But we have this segment. It's called the Rapid Fire. And it's just questions that I like to ask all of the guests. And most of the guests get these same questions and just try to answer them quickly. Although if you want to expand on them, that's totally fine. But I like to get the viewpoint of all these different guests that we have on in different industries. Like we had a makeup artist on. We've had a director of a museum on. We had Zeb on, we've had a business coach and a lawyer, right? And so everybody has a different perspective. And it's interesting to get the different feelings and the different perspectives on these questions. You've already answered one of them about your biggest source of inspiration. So Zeb took care of that one. It's your family, from what I would imagine, which is fantastic. So I'm gonna move straight forward with it. Do you have a favorite book?
I don't read that much, to be honest. Favorite book. I know that there's a book I really like. I read it like 3 times, but that's like in Mandarin. Oh, in English, like Catcher in the Rhyme.
Oh yeah, Catcher in the Rye.
Right, yeah. I read that book 3 times. I don't know why. I read like. You asked me, that's the first book I'm thinking about.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's like technical manuals of the 3D programs and lighting. And...
No, it's all YouTube now. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. All right. Do you have a favorite musical artist or a favorite album?
I really love Billie Eilish now. She's amazing.
Billie Eilish?
Billie Eilish, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's great stuff. It's cool and diverse, really diverse.
Yeah. Maybe because I now have a daughter, I don't know. I listen to Billie Eilish with her all the time. She's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's nice.
She's only 5. Yeah.
Wow. I remember like when you had said that you were having a kid. That's been 5 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Some of honestly, I've been on a big kick of classical, and there are some soundtracks of Pixar that I continually go back to. WALL-E has an amazing soundtrack. Up, I bought Up soundtrack right after I saw that film. I went and immediately bought that soundtrack. I love it. You guys have some unbelievable composers that work on your films. And actually, really quick, a diversion from rapid fire. This is unheard of, but I have to know. Do you get connected at all to the music side of things?
No, we don't have we don't have music department. Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of disconnected. You're working without sound. Only sound is at the end. You're not really sure what it's gonna be.
Yeah. Well, the sound we have a scratch music. Like editorial, they're putting down a scratch, like temp sound. But when the film's done, they still ship to the how can I forget that company on the Lucasfilm, Skywalker. Yeah, that's the company make all the Star Wars music, and then because now it's part of Disney, so our music being made by Skywalker. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing that all of those entities are now connected. I mean, it's a behemoth. It's unbelievable. I was just curious about that because that's like such an important part of a film. A lot of people don't realize, but the sound effects and the score is enormous.
Our editorial department is pretty good. Yeah, even though they putting down like temp, scratch, soundtrack, temp, Foley, like all the temp stuff, but they do a good job.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be somewhat accurate to what it's going to be, so that you guys get the right feeling.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fascinating, though, that there's a team that does the temporary stuff for that. Unbelievable. Yep. All right, this is going to be maybe the hardest one. What is your favorite film of all time, and what is your favorite Pixar film?
Wow. Favorite film? That's so, I don't know. It's a Christmas season. I really like Elf.
That's a great movie.
I really like Elf. Now it's about Christmas. Yeah.
Home Alone.
Yeah. Pixar movie, I do agree with you. I like Soul, and then Wall-E, my favorite. Maybe Toy Story 3, because maybe that's because the first one I worked on.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I really hope, because my kid's 5 years old, so yeah, she has not watched any movie yet, and so I really hope the one I'm working on right now, like 2026, she'll be 8 years old, will be elementary school. Maybe that could be her first movie to watch.
How cool! How special would that be?
Yeah.
Dad worked on that.
Special. Yeah, that would be special. Yeah.
You'll have to get her one of the posters. Here, I'm going to turn but this is only going to be audio, but my poster collection over there.
Nice.
And Wall is certainly included in that. I love.
Yeah, Wall-E's great. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah. I'm working with the same DP for Wall-E on our current movie right now. Yeah, he's great. Jeremy Lasky. He's probably one of the best DP in Pixar.
Awesome. Well, I have one more for you for the rapid fire, and then just a couple more to wrap this up. But I want to know, how do you define success?
I think be happy is very important. I mean, end of the day, I just like I always admire people can not to worry about like something failing, but really looking ahead and today's that's the only thing you need to focus on. And then if people can do that, I really amazed by those people. It's just so many days, at night, I'm thinking about things didn't happen well, kept me wake up at night. But some people maybe can handle pretty well. They figure it out. They can navigate bad things happen and they're kind of looking for the positive things the next day. I don't know. I feel like if I can do that, I feel like it's not an easy one for me. And then I can do that. So I'm like, that's in my philosophy, like successful.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a great one. And you're not the first guest to say happiness. In fact, the person who will be editing this episode, our audio director, he's in a band which we had on the podcast, and they did a live performance and everything. And he said happiness. And I believe some other people, but I agree wholeheartedly. What are you doing if you're not happy? Is that truly successful? If at the end of the day, how could you enjoy your success, air quotes, if you're not happy through the process and at the end? What are you doing? Well, I have a couple more questions for you, and I so appreciate your time. And so I know you got to get to dinner with your family, and I could literally talk to you all night. But I got a couple more for you if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to know, what are your future goals? What is Frank Tai doing in 5 years? What does 10 years look like? What's your future?
Yeah, I mean, the short-term goal is just like this new job for me, challenge, try to be, really try to navigate it and not try to do a awesome job. I just try to be, keep learning, and then see what I can get out of this new role, and then how can I help people. And I when I apply this job, I really want to learn looking at the big picture, how movie get made with different peoples. So that's my short-term goal. 5 years, 10 years. I think there's some technical things. I always want to be good, like learning new tool, new thing. How can I, in Pixar, I want to learn more. Like Houdini is another thing I really want to learn. And then there's a lot of talk about how great Houdini is, and I've been trying to learn that. And then maybe I hope like next 10 years, I can transition my workflow a lot in Houdini. Yeah, that's my kind of my technical, long-term goal, if you ask me for. But for the leadership side, it's mostly I want to continue to learn to be a supervisor, and another 2 years. And then maybe after this movie, I will take a break and then digest, learn new tool, new technique, and take a rest for another few years, then apply for another supervising role again. It's boring, it's not
definitely not boring. Oh man.
Nothing.
Do you ever want to direct a film?
No,
is that too much?
No, that's different. Like I say, I'm not a storyteller. I am more I'm very rigid.
Yeah,
I know myself. I'm a rigid guy. Yeah. So
sure.
So
there's nothing wrong with that. But I will say, I think you're underselling yourself, because you had a great story with the short animation that you made back in school that I remember watching, vividly remember. It was a good story. It was solid. It was engaging, essentially that it was about the chickens and the one had to avoid getting eaten, I can see it in my mind. It's crazy.
Well, it's funny, if a student asks me, what should I do to do my portfolio? I wouldn't recommend to do a short. I would recommend just maybe only do 30 seconds of something you really enjoy and make that 30 second great.
Right.
Instead of like spend, making my show was like 5 minutes. And but the cool thing about making my show, I kind of learning the whole process.
Right.
And then, but I recommend people, really find what you interest and then make that 30 second great. And then a lot of time when studio like Pixar, other studio, they don't want to watch like 4 or 5 minutes demo reel. They 10 seconds, they can tell you, about 10 seconds of demo reel can tell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
hyper focus on that. Yeah, that makes sense. That's great advice. Yeah, and drill down on, like, if you want to get into Pixar doing lighting, then just focus on the best lighting you could possibly do, and that's what they should see. Right. Because that gets you in the door. Then once you're in, then you can start to explore options. What's going to get you in there?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, I have one last question, and what we just talked about is one thing, but and so maybe you could say something in addition to that. But ultimately, I like to get all the guests to end on what is some of the most important advice that you could give someone listening to this, whether they be a student trying to get into Pixar, or whether it's someone who's a lawyer or someone who is a mom listening to this. What's, based on your experiences at Pixar and elsewhere, what's some piece of advice that you would have liked to hear in the past that you find is very important?
Be really curious. I think just like really be curious about, I think I always like to think I am second place. I never ever want to be like first place, because when you're at first place, you think I'm the best. When you're second place, you always like have someone to look forward to. Okay, he or she's better than me. What they did was better than me. I think I always like to put myself in that position, the second or third place, and I never want to think of myself is there. Like I think I like to keep myself always in that mindset. You have to have that mindset to kind of keep you going. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that's fantastic. It's about growth. And it speaks back to what you were talking about earlier, which is you enjoy the journey of making the film more than even watching the film's the end, that final product. Yeah. And it makes sense.
It's funny, like
about it.
When you ask me what film I like, I can tell you more what behind the scene I like more than what film I like, because I just can't. I just don't have like really strong opinion about. Oh, you know what? I recently watched Coda on Apple TV. That's a great movie. Yeah,
Coda. Okay,
Coda on Apple TV. Yeah, it's really good. It's an independent film. Oh, it's a really good movie. Little like low budget film. Great movie. Yeah.
Apple is putting out great stuff. I mean, I love what Apple's putting out. Severance is a great show. Silo is a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another one we just watched, but yeah, they're putting out good stuff. But I wanted to ask, since you said it was easier to tell what your favorite behind the scenes is, what's your favorite behind the scenes that you've watched?
Recently I watched some of the Indiana Jones. And I like those practical visual effects.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, you're making a lot of like a visual, like a computer CG, but a lot of old time. Like yesterday, I was watching like how like a low budget production company made this. I think they produced like 10 minutes or short with like a practical prop with like basic green screen, and then make like World War II film with like some practical thing, some like YouTuber putting something, and then I like watch how a building get made, like what's the history behind that architecture and why they built it that way, and then a lot of Disney rides, Imagineer behind the scenes stuff is pretty cool. Yeah, just like how things get made. I just always got like fascinating, like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah.
It's clear you love the process.
Yeah.
You're fascinated and drawn to the process of how things are made. That's where the meat is. That's where all the fun is too, is how do we build this thing? It's cool to look at the end. But, I can't imagine, it's kind of like music. I've been a musician and, we perform a song that we wrote and people hear that 3.5 minutes or whatever it is, but they don't know all of the effort and the different variations and what it took, all the wrong notes to get to that song. And that's actually what's fun, because then when you're performing it, you're kind of harnessing all of that different experiences to that one song, and I bet, when the Pixar team sees the film, in 2026, when you see the film that you can't talk about, you're all watching it. And when you're seeing something, you're thinking about the process of, oh man, that environment, it was so hard to get the fluid dynamics right in the sea or the lighting right on that walkie-talkie or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's why we saw a huge party in the end. Yeah.
Are those fun?
Yeah, they are big party. Like every movie when we finish. Yeah.
I've been to a Pixar party or two in SIGGRAPH, and they don't kid around. Those are good parties.
Oh, I don't remember that we have the in SIGGRAPH. Yeah. But we have rap party. We just usually would rent like a big venue. People sit there, watch movie. Then after that, we have party till like 2 or 3 in the morning. Usually a good time. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I can't imagine. Well, I feel like this whole conversation has been a party. I mean, I can't tell you. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I can't tell you how much it means to me that you took the time. I know you're so busy. You have your family. You're working on huge film. I wanted to tell you again how much this postcard that you sent me in 2009 means to me. I'll never forget it. Now I have this episode to cherish and continue to inspire me. And I know that I'm not alone. I know that Zeb is inspired by you. I know that there's a lot of people out there who don't know who you are. Now listen to this and will be inspired. And so I just want to thank you for being who you are and doing awesome work. And I look forward to seeing you soon. And maybe we can collaborate in the future. So I appreciate you a lot, Frank.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, you're so kind.